Greetings, hi, TheWarOwl greets you, and welcome to another episode of Strat Talk, the series where we talk about strategies for the game Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This time we're going to be looking at an interesting round here between Fnatic and Cloud9 from the grand finals of the ESL ESEA ACDC Pro League. And as we can see here, Cloud9 doing a very strange strategy, sitting inside a CT spawn for quite a bit and then rotating over to B. Now, let's hop back in time for a little bit and talk about the decision-making strategy there for Cloud9. One thing you gotta factor in when you're coming up with your strategies is how the team tends to play. Now, watch Fnatic here on the pistol round and what they decide to do. This is a round where the enemy team is just gonna be pistoling. They work on just taking bomb site B, and this is something that Fnatic likes to do on first rounds as well as sometimes on anti-ecos. Smoke going down, but they are just going to try to power right through it right here. So Cloud9 has an idea of, oh, Fnatic likes to charge into the site. And here they go, making their way in. And it ends horribly for them, but at the same time, it's an important little tidbit to keep in mind. So here we are again, we look at the economic situation going on. Cloud9 has to save, most definitely, and they call an interesting strat. Now this is something that, I think it's interesting because it's happening inside of a pro match, and that is something you'd see inside of like a pug or something like that, which is everybody chill at CT spawn when they try to take B as a result. We're all gonna rotate at the same time from CT spawn, move in there and retake really quickly, which will give you a chance at winning this anti-eco. So that's exactly what they do. Garrus is gonna jump across to get intel, see if anybody sees them cross. One player crossed, and Fnatic has the bomb and has decided to just charge into bomb site B. As a result of that tell, I know you guys hate when I pause it, but I have to talk about these things. I can't not pause it, guys. What am I supposed to do? The rounds don't take very long. It's like a minute. This is like probably gonna be an 8-minute video. We can't just stop it. We can't just, I don't know, you guys are weird. I have to pause it. I mean, that's pretty cool though. Look, Flusha like flying around in the sky. And Terra's trying to push in. No smoke is down, one player to deal with, and now we see at middle, the counter-terrorists have decided to all cross at the same time. Intel that Pronax now has. He was watching down middle, he saw these players cross, and we see all of the Cloud9 players getting ready to move in and retake bomb site B. It's the entire team that's moving across right now. Alright, so Smart Fnatic says, alright guys, it's time to not push into bomb site B. We know what kind of a trap they're playing at, and they decide to go into, let's wait until this flash is gone, a different kind of strategy. And let's look at the map. This all happens really quickly, so let's talk about what Fnatic is trying to do now. The strat was leave one player here to look down middle, and this is sort of their standard setup here on Dust 2. This is how Fnatic plays it. They move 3 players into the tunnels right here. They leave 1 player to watch middle or play middle and get intel, and then 1 player moving over here to either watch long or work on pushing forward at middle and getting intel, that sort of a thing. So they have full map control. They have 3 players here. For the most part, 2 of these players are going to rotate down lower B, work on this mid control, and then from there they'll decide what to do further with the round. Now, because these 3 players moved into here to bomb site B tunnels, smart move by Cloud9 to only cross 1 player and not smoke this off on this eco round. They said, okay, they're just eco, they only have 1 player crossed, let's just keep pushing into bomb site B and take it. And that's why it's a smart idea to move those 3 players at the very start over here, because you have that option then. You have 3 players here ready to just take bomb site B if the opportunity arises. So Cloud9 calls a feint, pushes forward as soon as Fnatic, and because Fnatic left that player back here at middle, they have intel that that sort of craziness is going on. They knew to pull off of it. So what have they decided to do at this point? It is to move these players lower B, go more into their standard setup, leaving the 1 player here, that's Flusha, and then do a split A. We can see the player who's playing mid Pronax, instead of continuing to watch mid, and this is the big mistake of Fnatic, rotates over here to long A with Olafmeister, and they're going to push over here and take bomb site A, while these players move down lower and take A from short, as well jumping up the Xbox with Flusha playing the lurk and staying behind. He'll probably at some point here rotate down to watch middle and try to prevent the rotates as well. However, Cloud9 in this instance, see why we have to pause it, guys? There's a lot to talk about here. Has decided, all right, they're not pushing into B. Let's move back to middle and see what we can make happen. Scadoodle, the hero of the round, runs through middle, is not seen by Pronax. Let's hop back in time and watch that. All right, so here is Scadoodle. We can see the player at top mid right now. Does not get intel. They're waiting for them to start pushing to B, and now the push has been called to rotate into bomb site B. Scadoodle running forward, decides to fall back, and as soon as that player middle, and that was just a little bit of fortuitousness there, that as soon as the player at middle turned away and stopped watching middle and started to go into that split A strategy as Fnatic pulled off of it, Scadoodle runs through middle and gets lower B, and this is to block off the rotate, and this is where it goes swimmingly for Cloud9. Wow, he just killed 2 glowing gold players. What is this? This is weird. I've never seen, this is really, like, this is like Fallout 3. This is what the radiation looks like in Fallout 3. I have no idea what's going on, but it looks awesome. I guess a bomb went off here. Got a little bit of radiation on them. Now they're glowing. So, they kill the 2 players rotating. They get bomb control at middle. On this eco, they pick up 2 weapons, have an M4 and an AK. This looks like a win scenario now for Cloud9. Awesome work. All their players are here. All they have to do is hold off these players. So, we have a bunch of positions that the T's can come from. Pretty much anywhere on the map. You can see they're evenly spread out. It's a difficult retake on this little position here from Cloud9. So let's watch what they do to deal with this, to go forward. So they pick up the smokes off of the dead players and just kind of throw them really awkwardly and really randomly. Look at that, random smoke there. Flusha just stands up on top of the box, picks off nothing. Smoke is doing nothing to dissuade him here. Oh my gosh. Absolute disaster, and at the end of all the killings as the T's move in, we have Shroud in a 1 versus 2 scenario right here. Trying to take on Pronax and Olafmeister. As soon as they get the bomb, the call is given to save, and Shroud will not go for the 1v2 for the win. Will save that AK-47, which, at the end of the day, Cloud9 does come off ahead here in this eco. They're ahead in terms of the rounds. They're 12-7 right now. And on an eco round, they kill 3 players and steal 1 weapon to save for the next round. That is a good eco. However, I can't help but feel that Cloud9 should have won this round, and it was possible for them to win this eco. So let's hop back and look at those smokes in particular and figure out what went wrong. Just looking at these smokes, I can't help but feel they just got a little bit too excited.
Oh my gosh, we might win this. I know, I'm scared.
Before I throw the smokes, I'd like to introduce you to TheWarOwl. Oh, the name, how droll. All right, so there are 2 basic types of smokes inside of Counter-Strike. The first, that one that you line up beforehand, you know where it's gonna go. You don't really have to think about it too much. This is the mid to B smoke. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Everybody knows how to throw that, you know it beforehand. Then, there's Kentucky Windage, where you throw smokes by the seat of your pants. You don't know where they're gonna go. You gotta think about the geometry, a good understanding of the map, and that's where Cloud9 went wrong. They took sort of an awkward position. This isn't a position you're normally in, where you have to hold lower B with the bomb. And you have 2 smokes to smoke it off. So you have to think, like, where are we gonna throw those smokes? They threw them incredibly quickly. They probably just called, like, smoke it, and then threw the smokes. Now, let's think about where these smokes could have been most effective. Now, I'm thinking a smoke right here. This is where they went wrong. It allowed the player to sneak by and jump up here and see over the top. Actually, the smoke I just threw was better. But however, the player here still could have jumped and then shot through this smoke. So very unfortunate they threw that one. The second one, really awkward. Kind of threw it out like that and it landed against the wall here. That helps nobody. The only thing it does really is block off top middle from looking down here. So I guess you can watch here. So I guess that may have been the thought process behind it. So they can't shoot us from middle. That's sort of a long range position. We just have 2 rifles and some pistols. That one actually made a little bit more sense than this one back here. So let's think about it. Let's think about it logically. Where would a good smoke block off a player from rotating? I would say right here, sort of at the bottom of the stairs. Because look at this. You can't really see down there. If you push down here, you have to exit the smoke. You can see the player right there. He may have tried to throw the smoke like that, but it landed in a terrible spot. So instead, he could have just taken the time to run over here and sort of drop it like that. But instead, he tried to bounce it against the wall. It's a little bit in an awkward position. See, that one still worked. That would have been better. Instead of throwing it right here, which allowed the player to use this box. So just a little bit of a mistake there. So let's think about that. Like, if we're in this situation again, now we know. Throw the smoke over there. They can't get down at all. The next smoke, I would think the best spot would be throw it up a little bit so it lands somewhere around here. Because you blocked off the top mid area. You still got that long distance area, but you don't really need to be watching it from here. I would say the best place you gotta watch from is like right here. So you can watch mid and you can watch lower. You kind of rotate like this. Don't worry about the players up at top mid. One player here, like behind the box, which is a nice place as always. And then getting players up on short, I think would be very important, because you can watch lower B from short very well. You can watch top mid. They have to push you from here. It's a difficult place to take from, and you can watch them from behind pretty well if you have a player just standing right here. They have to run this whole long gauntlet here with no cover. So one player right here, and one player watching down here. He can rotate. And then one player here and one player here. And they had an extra player to deal with. They could have put him wherever they wanted. It would have been a better setup, but I think they weren't used to that sort of a situation. They'd never been it before, and they just kind of had to go for it, and it just didn't work out. Just a little minute mistakes like that can make the difference in a round. Well, thank you folks very much for watching. I'm TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer.